Hey guys, this is going to be a short overview of my software design patterns series. Just wanted to give a little bit of preliminary information before, just to sort of give context to each video. Um, so the first thing is that for this, we're going to just be going over a bunch of software design patterns, more than just the Gang of Four traditional design patterns. I think there's 23 traditional ones. We're going to be going over a little bit more than that. There's going to be some functional ones added on top of this, or added on top of those. So if you haven't seen those yet, you're in for something new. Um, there is a distinction normally made between the design patterns, like a categorization. So some are categorized as structural, creational, and behavioral. I'm going to completely ignore that distinction because a lot of design patterns, especially a lot of more modern ones, don't fit into that very nicely. And I've also personally never found a use for it, and I've never met anyone who has. So that's just going to be completely ignored. The videos in this series probably won't be numbered. They'll probably appear in alphabetical order, just so that the patterns are easier to search for. We will be using Java for this. Just because Java is a fairly ubiquitous language, a lot of people understand it, and it takes very little skill relative to other languages to actually master Java. It just doesn't have as many features, and there's not really as much room to play with the syntax. I'm going to expect that you know the very basics of Java. You don't have to know anything too crazy or too complicated. I think we're going to skip out on a lot of the generics and a lot of the annotations as much as we possibly can, because they're not really needed for a lot of design pattern stuff. We will be using Java version 13, so we'll have the var keyword. If you're not familiar with that, it's really simple. Just go look it up. It takes 5 seconds to learn what it does. Other than that, I will be using Eclipse as the IDE. The main reasoning for that is that Eclipse has a ton of plugins. It's very extensible, and it's very, generally speaking, pretty user-friendly. Just because it's been around so long, there's also tons and tons and tons of tutorials on it. So if you don't know how to set any of that up, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and learn that. We're not going to use anything too crazy, too fancy. We're just going to start a normal Java project. And this really isn't going to have a lot of text explanations. It's going to be more verbal explanation. A lot of it is just going to be showing you what the code is and explaining the relevant software theory behind it. And yeah, we will be using Eclipse version 2020-03, or the specific version number being 4.15.0. That's just because that's the version that I currently have on my machine, and I don't want to go through the trouble of updating. But yeah, so stay tuned and find out more. Just click on whatever design pattern you want to see, and let's get into it.